Actually, I'm going to ask you about Riley Sheehan, who was out there today. I think it's fair to say, he gave you something in the preseason. How is it an option to return early in this road trip? And if he is back, what's he going to help bring to your lineup?
Well, he was a good penalty killer for us, kind of anchored that line a little bit for us that we tried in training camp, and they were pretty good. Now, they haven't played in regular season yet, so we'll see how it goes, but he's been cleared to play or cleared to practice today. We'll fly tomorrow, and he'll get one more skate on Tuesday morning, and if he's good to go, we'll put him in the lineup. But just a solid guy that'll help. It should take some minutes away from Leon a little bit. We've been a little heavy on Leon the last couple of games because of the penalty killing, so it might take a few minutes of the penalty killing away from him.
Does a new player like James Neal, who is a goal scorer, have to score early in his new tenure with a team to start think, okay, last year's done now? I'm still not having trouble scoring.
Well, Nealer's personality is like that because he's an engaging guy. He's got lots of juice in the room. He's a well-liked guy in there, and he wants to do well. So him contributing or him getting on the board helps him get going, right? And everybody else thinks things are really good, but in your own mind, if you're a scorer, you got to score. And so it's good to see him get on the board. And that's where, he's had some chances. We were going through some video yesterday morning. I showed one of his chances, and he was like, the whole group was there, and he was kind of like, whoa, what am I doing? So you like to see him capitalize on a chance, and he puts a lot of pressure on to score too. So it's good to see him get on the board, and a couple big goals for us too.
Are you a win and you're in coach? If Mike keeps winning, are you just going to say, why not? There's enough time between games. It's not like you're playing back-to-backs here.
No. Not winning, you're in.
Well, you could play Koskinen in the first game of this trip.
Well, I'm going to talk to Schwartzy after today, and we'll put a plan together for the trip. But Koskinen will play on the trip. I'm not sure when.
Dave, so it's 4-3, Nygaard and Fox on the face-off. Are you putting them out there with that set play on the face-off line? Was that your thinking, or was that just...
That was all them. That was European showtime from what somebody told me. That one will find the video group with the group.
And just, so two summer recruits, you must just be overjoyed that you can kind of get that contribution from them.
We need depth in scoring, and Haas has been a guy, even though the first game I didn't play him very much, but he's come on every game. He's got a little better, and I thought he was real good last night. He had lots of, he's playing quick. His hands were good, and Nygaard's been really good. Like he's in the two regular season games, he's been good player both games. So it's good to see them get rewarded, and it's also good to see our group feel good about somebody else scoring. So that the scoring depth. So both those guys, after the game, they both had big smiles on their face, and Pearson too. And it's great to win, but it's great for those guys to have a contribution into the win.
Are there, in your experience over the years, is there something to be said for that first road trip of the year, just getting the group away where it's really them collectively, and just the thought on that?
No, I like it. It just, you can do your bonding trip in training camp, but it's not like the regular season. You get in there and everything is geared to those games, for everything from what the coaching staff does to the trainers to the players. They get together and have meals on the road that are meals with purpose about the next day. You practice, get up and you practice in the morning with purpose, and you play and rest or light practice the next day. It's you get in a routine or a rhythm, and that it's a bonding experience for the team just within that rhythm, So guys are looking forward to getting on the road.
Dave, just quickly back on James Neal, talking to him this morning, you said he felt a lot more comfortable in game 2 than he did in game 1. Did you see that as well?
Yeah, a little bit. I think he's working to get himself feeling good about his game. So first game, I think there's a few guys that have first game jitters, but not jitters, but just they want to get going. Just like we were talking about, like he wants to be a big part of it. So you put a little extra pressure on yourself. But yesterday just seemed like he relaxed and played, and he was a good player, not just the goals. He was a good player without the puck also.
Oscar said last night you outscored your mistakes. As a coach, is it easier to teach or the next practice when you win the game and you make lots of mistakes to go back to them and say, okay, we're 2-0 here, but I don't know if we've had our A game here yet, so let's relax a little bit. It's nice to win the games, but we're got to be quite a bit better.
All the above right there. It's all been said here. Well, first game, there was some stuff that we knew we could do a lot better, and the second game where we cleaned up some mistakes. The first game, the goalie cleaned up some mistakes for us, and yesterday we cleaned up some mistakes for the goalie. So both we found ways to win, which is a positive, but we still got lots of growth in our game. And some of it is there's some tactical stuff that we can do a little better, but some of it is I like the don't quit attitude we had last night. That we just kept hanging in there, and ultimately we got Connor draws a big penalty and capitalize on it, and we win the game. So we want to find ways to win and find ways to get better, and both those games are good examples of that.
Was Person's game last night a good gauge for a defenseman playing his first game? Person,
yeah.
Was it a good gauge because it was so wide open and lots of mistakes, or was it?
It's going to take a few games. It'll take a few games. That was a little bit of a wild game. He was all right. He was all right. I would say it was just kind of he was getting his feet wet, and not a lot wrong and not a lot right. So and that's kind of the way we'd hoped it would go, just to get him up and going. It's harder. A forward can jump in there and fly around and feel like he's doing something in the game. But the D, there's a lot of thinking going on back there. And especially a guy like him, he's got to move the puck well. He's got to make little plays in his own end so he doesn't defend as much. And I thought he was solid last night. Nothing great, nothing too bad. Hopefully it's a good start for him. All right.